Hello, I'm Joel Baird, the General Manager of Missoula Community Access Television, inviting you to another edition of What's Up Missoula. This program profiled civic groups and nonprofit groups in the Missoula area. Today we're going to visit with a club from Potomac. It is the Blackfoot Home and Community Club. This is the River Cleanup Committee, and they want to invite you to a very special event coming up this Saturday, July 28th. And I'll let them introduce themselves to you, beginning on my far left with Alicia.
Hi, Joel. My name is Alicia Vanderheiden.
I'm Lynn Guntarik Garberson.
Carolyn Hansen.
And I'm Marietta Pfister.
Well, thank you all for coming so much.
Glad to
Thanks
be
for
here.
having us.
Oh, you're most welcome. Well, the reason we're here is to make sure everyone is aware of a cleanup effort for the Blackfoot River. This cleanup effort is going to be undertaken on Saturday, July the 28th, and you can meet on Rainbow Bend Drive. This is on Highway 200 East between mile marker 8 and 9. So you would take the road on the way to Great Falls. You leave Missoula heading east on I-90, go to exit 109 because you're pretending as if you want to go to Great Falls, and then you go east on 200, and when you pass mile marker number 8, be on the lookout for Marietta's house.
Well, you won't see it until you get down on the river, but
Right.
yes,
There'll
it's
be
all to the
signs
right.
there,
That's right.
and expect to see it on the right-hand side.
Right.
Okay, and this event, it can start early in the morning, at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'll let anyone jump in and explain this part. This poster says, I'm going to hold it up too for Garnet to zoom in on, at 8 o'clock you want divers and support rafts. So who wants to address what skills these divers and support rafts should have?
Well, they're all going to be certified divers. I'm sure they're all certified.
So they're not snorkelers, these are
No,
people
these
with
are-
scuba
These are actually
equipment.
scuba
correct.
divers, and the boats will have to be manned by by oarsmen who at least know what they're doing in order to get around the river.
Right.
And we have about 25 rafts plus that are going to be helping out too.
So the divers and the rafts are pretty committed.
Correct.
You pretty
Correct.
much know who those folks
Correct.
are going to be.
That's right.
Well, I jumped quite ahead, but let's talk, about what at 9 o'clock the walkers, waders, and floaters can do.
Yes.
And that's their time to come up.
Marietta?
Yes. Well, we have large easels that we have the maps on of the whole river, and then we explain to each person where they are going to be going. And we have shuttlers from our house to the different places that they're going to be getting into the river or walking along the side of the river.
Great.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons to coordinate in that way is so you don't waste the effort. So you don't have all these people coming to one part of the river and very few coming to the other part.
And we also would like to know where people are safety-wise. And we register everyone, and then they re-register or check off when they come off the river, so we don't leave anybody out there.
Right. Oh, that's a very good idea. I want to talk a little bit about who you're looking for the event. And maybe I should have rehearsed that with you. But I just mean in the sense of, would you discourage parents from bringing small children for the day? Or do you feel like, well, maybe small kids can fit into that? This is your 4th year doing the event, so you've had some experience, I guess, with all
Only
manner
if
of
the
people
parents
coming.
are with them
Yeah, for sure.
for liability reasons. There is an area just in front of our house that is nice for waiting for the children, and we're hoping to have some lifeguards on duty so that they can watch whoever is in the water at that time.
Okay.
But while we can't provide daycare services,
No,
we do
no
encourage children to come out to get started early.
Right.
This
In the
river
cleanup.
is their
It's
backyard.
Right. It's a good way to instill in children the importance of keeping our treasure clean and serviceable.
Right.
Yes.
And maybe we should back up. I don't know, maybe I jumped in too fast for people watching if they understand what we're talking about. I think most Missoulians know that they're in a river, 5 rivers come together here in Missoula. One of them is the Blackfoot River. Who wants to address kind of like how this river is being used as recreation and so on? And the need to clean it up at least once a year.
Well, maybe I'll address that because I live on the river. Those gals don't, but I was very angry because I saw many people dropping cans off their inner tubes and letting them sink to the bottom. I would yell at them which didn't do much good.
Right.
But then I thought, well, I'm going to see if I can do something about it. So I checked with Fish, Wildlife, and Parks. I went, called Helena, and anyway, we got this started. So we had some people helping us. And then I went to the Blackfoot Home and Community Club, and I asked if they would help also, and they did.
Right.
100%. First year we have a barbecue, free barbecue afterward, and they got all of the food, and so they were there helping all day long. So, and they're doing other things now the last 2 or 3 years too. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And this club, I know we weren't going to talk about the history of it that much, but I just want, like I have the opportunity to explain to people the Blackfoot Home and Community Club has a long history, and is it surrounding Potomac mostly?
Mostly Potomac, yes.
Yeah.
It was a county extension service club at first.
Like a
And-
4-H club.
Yes, it was under that auspice, but now we broke away from them.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, 20 years, 15
Something
years
like that.
ago.
Quite some time ago.
Yeah. But the club provided a good social structure so that when you needed help and people to pull together, like I don't know, how big is the club altogether? You are the Blackfoot River Cleanup Committee.
Yes.
But there's,
About 22 members.
Yeah.
and we're all we come from very diverse origins. There are teachers, there are professional people, there are, well, we're just very diverse, and we come. Most of us come from different places around the country,
Yeah.
and so we have maybe a unique input into how we can help, what may be able to be done, because we've seen things done in other states.
Well, and as far as the club, also, the club had been doing and continues to do Adopt a Highway program. So when Marietta came forward and said, hey, this is a problem on the river, can the club do something about it? I think the fact that they had Adopt a Highway experience made this a little bit easier. It wasn't so daunting, that everybody could come together and see what we
working
could do.
along the same lines, like the river being similar to the highway, and you could
bet.
break it
Yes.
out into
You bet.
sections
You bet.
and do some cleanup. Now, Garnet, I don't know if you can zoom into this picture, but I think so. I want to give people at home an idea. And we were talking before we started taping about the growth of Missoula and how Missoula has recreated, traditionally, I guess, for a long time. Everyone knows our river runs through it. Of course, that brought a lot of
Yes.
people here, probably.
I did want to mention, too, that the club not only has this river cleanup and the highway cleanup, but we raise funds for the school and for the fire department. In fact, all of the recycled cans, the money from that goes to the fire department up there at Potomac. So
Oh, that's
it's a
great.
very, home and community-oriented group.
Yeah, and you mentioned before we started taping, this is the 4th year
Correct.
of the event, and I want to remind people, if you are flipping through the channels, you've just joined us, we're talking about a Blackfoot River Cleanup Day, and this day is going to be Saturday, July the 28th. You're invited to come from Missoula, starting at 9 o'clock. You're going to be going over to Marietta Pfister's house. To get there, go on Highway 200 East, go east on I-90 to exit 109, as if you're going to Great Falls. The mile markers begin after Bonner. So once you leave Bonner, you can see the mile markers on the side of the road. When you pass 8, look to the right. There'll be signs for Marietta's house. You'll turn into the right, where you can register to work on cleaning up the Blackfoot River after a year of recreational use by Missoulians. And the area is going to be from the Whitaker Bridge down to Bonner. Does anyone know how many miles that is?
13.
Okay. Got that. Now, if you want more information, is it okay to put your number?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The-
It's
the
on the
num-
flyers that are around town.
That's true. And it is, and I'll put it on the screen here for you, it is 244-5442. And then you'll be talking to Marietta. She'll tell you how to get there if you need more information about the event. And I suppose you would want to tell people to bring the usual things like sunscreen,
Yes.
a sun hat.
Gloves, if they're going to be the ones that are handling, they do not allow glass bottles, but there are some there.
Yeah.
So we don't want anyone getting cut. So
River shoes or
Sensible
sneakers
shoes.
are very
yes.
sensible since you're picking up garbage.
Tied on, preferably.
Yeah.
We have found many flip-flops in the years.
Oh, so that some of the cleanup crew is actually leaving stuff behind unwittingly.
Well, no,
not-
actually, this,
no.
this is probably from the previous year.
Oh, I see.
Recreationalists, as
Yeah.
they're floating down the river in their flip-flops, oops.
Right.
It's
And
gone.
It's a good point to mention. We have these mesh bags.
I
it-
saw that and I thought
Oh, yeah.
maybe
We'll
one
tell you
should
what
say,
they are, yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure, but it can be used not just for garbage, but for gear also, because we pick up
Oh, there's cameras.
pairs of sandals,
sunglasses.
sunglasses, cameras, everything that you
Hats.
can think of.
Hats.
I
Clothes.
still
Yeah.
wear a hat that I got in last year.
Oh, you deserve something for the effort. But,
So-
but the river becomes like this huge lost and found in some areas too, where
Somewhat.
you wouldn't think to blame the people. They've obviously lost their stuff,
Right.
the
Right.
sandals,
Right.
Yeah.
the other stuff you see though is just this blatant disregard.
It is.
Well,
Right.
we
It
find
is.
parts of cars. If you could
Yeah.
imagine, why would
Yeah.
somebody throw a car door down into the river? I mean, that.
Cars
It has-
disappear.
Right. It hasn't been
Yeah.
that bad last year, although the bottles and the cans and the clothing and the
Because
personal
the worst thing
accessories
you
are-
see is it alcoholic beverages in the
Yeah.
main?
Yes.
Like you're seeing
Pretty
beer
much.
cans. People
Yes.
are
Pretty
drinking.
much.
So they're acting irresponsibly to begin with, probably. They're drinking,
Mm-hmm.
they're on the river, they're tired of what they're drinking, or their coordination is gone.
Yes.
And also their common sense and courtesy gets a little
Mm-hmm.
damped down. So all this stuff starts falling in the river.
And we're feeling that it is mostly the underage drinkers because they do not want to get caught with empty beer cans.
Oh, sure.
And so they just leave them on the way for someone else to pick up.
That's the idea. So then rather than coming out of the river, say at Johns Road or some other more populated place that might be a checkpoint or a point of observation for being a minor in possession.
They're
Yeah.
sinking.
Let's say,
They're sinking their can. They're
Yeah.
sinking the evidence, is what they're.
Right.
Right.
So there's some preventative things people could do.
Correct.
One, if they're going to drink underage, maybe they could take responsibility for it and at least try to sneak it into the garbage can at the end of their run. And two, try one of these mesh bags for not just for trash, but for things they want to take with them
Right,
on
right.
the river.
Yeah, we'll tell you about the mesh bags.
I
Okay.
think that you want to can
Go for it.
Go
Carolyn.
for
Go for it now. Go for it, Carolyn.
Feel free. I don't know, Gardner, how much time do we have? Or Philip could tell us.
We can
to
just
be
keep
sure.
talking here.
I want to make sure you're getting your point about the.
Okay, well, sponsors of this are, of course, are members of the Blackfoot Holman community, and everybody participates. Also, Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks, and they're the ones that give us the maps and technical support and rafts. And then BLM are the ones that give us
Bureau
these
of Land
bags.
Management.
Yes.
Correct. Bureau of
Yes, the
Land
Bureau of Land Management. And what we've done is we've
Other end.
taken baling twine, another use for baling twine, and if you're on a tube, you can take this around the tube, pull this through like this, it can drag in the water, and you can put all of your
Gear,
cans and
garbage.
whatever else
Yeah.
that you want in here. Now, with these bags, Hellgate High School's woodshop built us stands that are about this high, and on the top, it tells us about river cleanup and so on, and there's a little niche on each side. These bags hang down. Okay, we put them in all of the places in town that rent rafts, that
Oh, it's a
rent
great idea.
tubes, that anything
Like
to
the
do.
Army Navy here, or
Yeah.
you see
Oh,
some
yeah.
of the
Ace
tire
Hardware,
shops.
yeah.
will
Ace
have
Hardware.
Fun tubes.
And,
Yep.
and they're free.
Milltown
I mean,
Market.
all they have to do is take them, and at the end, they can throw them in a garbage
Yeah.
thing. And we've done hundreds and hundreds
yes.
of these,
Yes.
putting them.
Just so far this season.
Oh,
Just
wow.
this-
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So there's a really strong, you're trying to do a preventative deal here, too.
Absolutely. Oh,
Not
yes.
just the cleanup, but
that's-
education.
Part of this is
Awareness.
educational awareness.
Yeah.
We
Correct.
don't want it just one day.
Right.
We
Right.
want everyone to have that awareness. And it's not a fundraiser, it's an awareness raiser. I just feel that we need to tell people that we have something we've got to do about this.
Yeah.
We have a
Altogether.
treasure, those of us who live in Montana, and we need to take care of it.
Yeah.
And one of the ways to take care of it is to educate the people and let them know that there is something that each and every one of us can do.
Yeah.
Okay, some other sponsors that help us along with this, the University of Montana. They're giving us divers and rafts. Summit Beverage, who
Oh, yeah, made the banner.
Made all of
and
these
some
banners.
larger ones.
Yes.
as you
paid to have it
On the
done.
bridge.
On the bridge for the education.
Boy Scouts. Now, the Boy Scouts, as the troops come, they'll be given, I mean, they can be sorting garbage, you know, there's all sorts of things that they can be doing. A number of diving clubs, and they're donating their time, they're paying for their own oxygen, you know, their own
Their
air and so
wetsuits.
on, and their wetsuits.
Now, can snorkelers participate in
Yes.
that
Sure.
part too?
Yes.
Because there might be people watching
You bet.
that are snorkelers, and they might think, oh, that would be really fun to do. Like they could look for stuff with a purpose. Because often snorkelers that I know of Frenchtown Pond, they'll have a ball or something to chase like a dog, you know. But so this way, they can really be looking for something.
Yes.
Yes.
And then we have the Blackfoot Challenge, which is helping, supplying rafts. Trouts Unlimited are supplying rafts. And the volunteers, what we do is when they come in and they look at the map, you know, they sign up in partners. And they're on both sides of the river, and they know exactly how far they're supposed to go, and they have their garbage bag with them.
Right.
And if they're on the opposite side of the river, you know, then they just hail a raft as it comes down, you know, to throw.
Oh, to get them on the other side. if
Yeah,
that's
oh,
what
they're
they
on
want.
both
You run out of
sides of
land
the river the
sometimes.
entire
Yeah.
way, on both sides. So there's always somebody going back and forth, you know, checking on them to see if they need a garbage
And
pickup.
we
or-
also are having ham radio operators along the way
Oh, great.
to kind of keep track of the people that are there. And we also have first aid people at the house there. in
From our
case the
fire department.
Fire
Oh,
department.
great.
Yeah.
From the
So
Potomac
we-
Fire Department.
Yes, yes.
So you've got a lot of supervision for the event too.
Yes.
Like people
Oh, yes.
shouldn't be afraid to say, "Oh, well, I'm not so much an outdoors person."
Yep.
The event is, you know, especially for the non-specialists, the non-divers and support rafts, but these snorkelers, walkers, and waders, and that people can do.
Sure.
I haven't been, so can you tell people what the river flow is like? It's pretty slow.
It'll
very
depend
low.
what it's going to be like.
yeah.
There's some
to where they
rapids.
are.
Right.
There
yeah.
are some rapids that you need to be
Aware
of, but I think that would be more of the place that the rafts would be going, and they
Yeah.
would know
And
more
the
about
divers.
it.
But
Yeah.
there's a job for everybody. I know
Right.
individuals that are afraid of water, don't want to go near water, don't know how to swim. We need help with some of the shuttles, with driving people different places. We've got a lot of food that we're putting out, you know, sign-in sheets. There's a job for everybody.
Yeah.
So,
someone could come and just stay at your house helping that
Sure,
day.
you bet.
Yeah,
if
sure.
if
You
they
bet.
wanted
No,
to.
we do, yeah.
If
Yep.
they think this is an important event, but gee, you know, I feel a rash coming on or something. And there's some people that are more
bet.
stay at home, but they think the river's really important.
Well,
you
I-
would welcome them and find
Oh,
something
yes.
for them to do.
I think we need to have people just visiting with each other. People have said they wanted to come back another year because it was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just cleaning up the river, but, you know, getting together.
Yeah.
And they don't have to stay all day. In other words, if they want to come in the morning and they want to leave at 1, that's fine. If they want to come at 1 and leave at, you know, 6 or whatever, however much time they would like to spend.
Right, because I didn't see an end time on this.
No, there isn't. We sometimes, last year I think we were there till 7 o'clock because we wait for all of the divers to come in so that we can feed them.
Another important point we've been talking about is plans for the future of the river. And
Yes.
Alicia, you just sort of said it, that what we have talked about a little is like a trend of the Blackfoot River feeling the pressure of Missoula's growth too.
Yes.
Now, I had mentioned before we started taping, when I first came here and went to Flathead Lake, I was amazed to see a resource like this so calm, so devoid of people in the summertime. I go to a friend's house whose parents had a house on the lake. And then I think, well, where are all the people? And then if there was an easy way to get to Flathead Lake, it would see a lot of pressure of people from Missoula. And now
Yeah.
that was when Missoula was half the population it is today.
Yes.
And we're talking about your house being 8 marker 8 out of town. So it's about 12 I don't know, 20
about
miles.
15.
15 miles out of town. Johnsrud, I used to go every day in the summer, and it was about a 45-minute trip. The big thing was going on the dirt road way
Oh,
back
yes.
to the Red
Oh, yes.
Rocks and all the
Yep.
dust and what have you.
Yep.
But you're bringing up, Alicia, a really strong point that if people don't start thinking about the river now and how to take care of it under the crush of all the people that have come to live in this valley
Yeah.
and the Bitterroot Valley, it's going to be in a great deal of trouble 5 years from now.
It is. It is. And we need to ask people to be stewards of the river. We've taken just a very small section of the Blackfoot River. So we need other folks, other organizations to consider taking another section. And then let's expand it further. There's other rivers.
Yeah.
Let's have other groups take other sections of other rivers here in western Montana and the whole state, and how much good we could do.
Because we're only talking about 13 miles, you know,
Yep.
for this event, from the Whitaker Bridge down to the Bonner.
Yeah, yeah, and Lincoln, the headwaters of the Blackfoot River, that's a ways away.
Right.
And those recreation pressures, they may not be there now. You wait, they're going
That
to
they
come.
will be
They're
there. Well,
moving
Marietta,
up.
you
Yeah.
mentioned
Lincoln, Ovando, and all the way down.
You bet.
Yeah.
that people were going further up
Yep.
because they didn't like all the attention put on Johns Road and the presence of law enforcement or what have you. So we want to go where it's quieter. So they're going even further up the Blackfoot.
We're
to
very
recreate.
glad that the law enforcement have stepped in too, and the Fish, Wildlife, and Park are able to have tickets that they can give to people. So they have really done a good job with the traffic on the road and also what's happening at Johns Road, because families don't like to go there anymore because there's just too many rowdies. So
The local residents,
yeah.
ourselves,
yes,
we avoid the area
Oh,
oftentimes.
sure. I saw Saturday a house. The house right on the corner had a for sale sign, the one that you turn into on that road. Well, I don't want to leave anything else out either. Did I ask all the questions?
We should
Where do we
reiter-
go from here?
We'd like to reiterate just what individuals can do year round.
Yeah. How about that?
Pack out more than you've packed in. Pick up trash while you're there. You're enjoying the. We want you to have fun, but we also want you to take some responsibility. It's our river. We need to take care of it. And one of the ways that you can help as an individual, because everybody says, "Oh, what can I do? I'm just one person." If you just take a few more cans out of there than you brought with you, that would be a big step.
It's a great idea. So don't just be neutral. Be a little more positive too.
If you're
Take
not
more out than you
if you're
brought
not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
in. Right.
Well, now that we're giving them the bags, all they have to do is open them up, put the trash in, and
No
dump them at
excuse.
the end when they get out.
no
Yeah.
excuse.
You know, people have their own inner tubes or rafts. They can go to Ace Hardware and look for this display. It was
They're
built
all
by the
they're
Hellgate
all over
Woodshop, High
town.
School
Yeah, Ace
Woodshop.
Hardware happens to be one.
The
They're-
tire companies.
Yeah. Army, Navy, Huron,
Yes.
Higgins.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any
probably
place
has
that sells or rents inner tubes or rafts will
You've
have.
got them covered with this.
Correct.
And they're on a
back.
stand. You can't even miss them. You know, there's
Right.
like they're hanging on both sides on the stand.
Yeah.
And if it's a business that wants to have bags to give out,
Let me know.
contact us.
Call
We'll be
Marietta.
happy to give you some.
Yep. We may not have the stands this year, but
You'll have
Yeah.
enough
But we
bags
have the
to
bags.
get
We'll have the
started.
bags. Yeah.
I have the bags in
Thanks
our
to
garage.
BLM
Yes.
That's
because
great.
they give us these.
All right. Well, anything you want to add before we go?
One of the things that we'll have for sale, if you want to be
Yes,
a member,
thank
is we have some T-shirts that will be made up for those of you who would like to buy a T-shirt for $10 for participating on the 4th annual Black River Cleanup.
That's great. Well, I want to thank you all for coming.
thank you for
Alicia,
having
Thank you
us.
for
Lynn,
having us.
It's been great.
Carolyn and Marietta, thank you so much.
Thank
Once
you.
again, we've been visiting with the Blackfoot Home and Community Club, the River Cleanup Committee. The event that they've been working on in their 4th year is the Blackfoot River Cleanup Day. It is Saturday, July the 28th. The event will start at 8 a.m. for divers and support rafts, 9 o'clock for walkers, waders, and floaters. If you'd like directions to the site where the cleanup effort begins, give Marietta a call. Her phone number is 244-5442. Well, thanks so much for watching this edition of What's Up Missoula. If you know of a group you'd like to see on the show, give us a call at MCAT. The number is 542-6228. For MCAT, I'm Joel Baird. Thanks for watching.